Well, now, all the time in this programme, we talk about high-tech online crime. But the crime at the centre of this next film is distinctly low-tech and non-digital, but is no less devastating for its victims.
It's 10 p.m. on an April night in northwest London, and a thief sees an opportunity to strike. The target? One of England's 2.3 million blue badges, which allow disabled people to use designated, accessible parking spaces. Blue badges can fetch a tidy profit on the black market. But as disability campaigner Shani Dhanda knows all too well, the lives of the drivers they were stolen from are frequently thrown into disarray by the theft.
Some non-disabled people can think of the blue badge as a bit of a perk, but actually it just helps me to live independently. It means that I can work, I can socialise, and just do all the things that I need to do in life.
So when a blue badge is stolen, the impact can be huge.
I was going back to my car. As I approached, the windscreen had been smashed. And it wasn't until, 5 minutes of me in the car looking to see what had gone missing, did I then realise that someone had stolen my blue badge and smashed the windscreen for it.
From the moment her badge was taken, Shani's everyday life changed. Trying to get around without a badge was expensive as well as difficult.
I didn't realise how much I relied on my badge until it was stolen. I can't walk as far as other people. The blue badge, it helps me park closer to all the places that I need to go to, whether that's the hospital, whether that's my place of work. There was a huge financial implication for me. I was paying even more to park in other places.
And while replacing her smashed windscreen took a fortnight, replacing her blue badge took a lot longer.
I had to wait 6 months to get my new blue badge. I had to cancel plans, and of course there was another financial implication because I had to pay for another one.
Blue badges are worth thousands on the black market because holders are exempt from congestion charges and get free parking in many places. As Shani discovered, they can take months to be replaced. And they're also mostly non-digital, making it difficult to check in real time who the owner really is.
Hello, nice to meet you.
And you too.
Come and have a seat.
Roxy Murray had her blue badge stolen in April.
I actually got some CCTV there.
Let's have a look.
And then you can see him kind of checking into where my front door is to see if anyone's there.
Oh my gosh, it's really scoping it out.
Yeah, he really is. And that's it, it's gone.
So quick.
Yeah, so quick. When I went outside, I literally was greeted with my whole car window smashed. The seat was ripped. There's glass everywhere inside. And then I realised, oh, the blue badge is gone. It was like that kind of sinking feeling in your heart.
During the 6 weeks it took for her to receive a replacement badge, Roxy was fined twice for parking illegally in the designated disabled bay outside her house, even though that bay had been added for her to use.
So then I ended up with 2 tickets and no way of contacting the council to figure out what I had to do next to get a blue badge and what I should do till I get one.
Yeah.
The costs of paying the parking tickets, repairing the car and replacing her blue badge made the theft even more difficult for Roxy.
Oh, I couldn't go anywhere. Ultimately, the car had to be repaired, so there's a financial burden. There was the amount of stress I was going through, and I have MS, which is multiple sclerosis, and stress is a massive trigger for me, so it kind of puts me into a relapse.
Government statistics show thousands of blue badge thefts in recent years, making many disabled people victims of this devastating, life-changing crime. But one local authority is bringing the blue badge, finally, into the 21st century. In an effort to clamp down on theft and the illegal use of stolen badges, Haringey is going digital. As a result, blue badge holders are no longer required to display any permit in their window, significantly reducing the likelihood of criminals targeting their cars. Councillor Seema Chandwani oversees the scheme.
Seema, can you tell me about the virtual blue badge scheme?
People register their number plate and we know that they've got a blue badge, and that way the traffic warden doesn't have to see it in the window. They can just tell from your number plate that you have a blue badge.
That sounds brilliant.
And the second thing they can do is check if a blue badge is in the window to check if that blue badge is registered, lost or stolen.
Do you think that it's possible that other boroughs will emulate the scheme?
As you know, local authorities are the ones who issue the blue badge, so they already have the database and it's about matching it up. So I think it's highly possible to be done, but how those boroughs then talk to each other and those different systems is something that probably would need London-wide attention or national attention to make that happen.
Since the scheme's introduction in early 2022, the council says blue badge crime in the borough has decreased by 65%.
I'm going to put the serial number, it's the serial number on there, then it's going to tell me everything about the badge.
Olajunwan is one of the council's enforcement officers.
That looks good.
So that looks good?
Yeah, that looks good.
Vehicles that don't display valid badges run the risk of being towed away then and there. Here in Haringey, they've turned things around, but elsewhere, the picture isn't so positive. Because few local authorities have implemented a digital scheme, the vast majority of Britain's blue badge holders are still at the mercy of thieves.
After experiencing the virtual blue badge permit, I have to say I am so impressed. I really urge councils across the country to adopt this because I know how much it will help me as well as many other blue badge holders.
That's rotten, isn't it? And I'm delighted to say that Shani is joining us on Zoom to tell us a bit more about that. Morning, Shani.
Morning.
But isn't it great to see Haringey taking the initiative on this? And from the film, clearly, you're a fan. Have they got it all right?
Well, look, it's a really good start and it has dramatically decreased the number of blue badge thefts in the area. But the scheme isn't perfect. For example, the virtual permit applies to one vehicle only and you still can't use your virtual permit outside of that borough. So it means that residents will still need to use the traditional blue badge to park in private car parks and other boroughs.
Yeah, it is a really good start, as you say. And it is the sort of thing that really could make a really big difference if rolled out more widely. And certainly we wanted, as you know, Shani, to find out whether or not other councils agreed. So we asked 10 local authorities in England with the highest rates of blue badge theft, other than Haringey, if indeed they had any plans to introduce such a scheme, or even to make it possible for parking attendants to check if a badge had been stolen. Well, of those 10, I have to tell you, only half actually gave us an answer, despite much pestering, which I think is pretty poor. One who did reply to us, though, Newham Council in London, they had the highest number of stolen badges, 221 in a year, which was certainly more than twice the number seen anywhere else in the country. And it told us that it doesn't offer a virtual badge and its parking officers can't check them in real time, but it is always looking for ways to improve services for residents. I think all they actually need to do is pick up the phone and talk to each other, Shani, isn't it? Nearby Southwark Council, on the other hand, does offer a virtual badge scheme. Another London borough, Westminster, told us it is aiming to bring one in within the next year. Shani, what do you make of all of that?
I am disappointed that not all the councils came back to us, but I am pleased to hear that more councils are offering or are looking into offering the virtual permit. It is life-changing, really. Having a blue badge has really been a lifeline for me, as well as for many other disabled people. And I think from my experience, it can feel like this issue isn't always on a high priority for council. So I would like to see them do much more to deter these thefts that take away our independence.
Yeah. Do you think that's because they actually have no actual understanding of what a difference it makes to you, not just financially, but also, as you say, emotionally and your way of life?
Absolutely. And I think, the more that we involve disabled people in the process, the better. But I do think that we need just a much more streamlined, longer term solution that all the councils are signed up to. So no matter, wherever you are as a blue badge holder, you can use that virtual permit wherever you are in the country.
Great, Shani, thanks. I hope they're listening to you and I hope they pick up the phone and talk to each other. Let's go and join Julia now.